What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping by. Playing some short clips from the Coinist podcast. I try to have on the best investors, top analysts, biggest exchanges every single week so you know what's happening in the crypto market. But I know some of you don't like to watch a full show, so I'm going to bring you some clips, some highlights so that you can get the biggest ideas, the takeaways in a quick 5 or 10 minute clip. Enjoy the clip. You can watch the full show down below. All right, let's dive into one of your specific thesis. This is what I was excited to chat about because there's a little bit of a stir on Twitter. There's some traders, obviously, who are short ZEC or really bearish on Zcash, and then you're looking at it. You're long. You are bullish. You understand there's value in that privacy narrative. What's the big picture, high time frame, macro bullish case for ZEC?
Sure. So I think to go in a little bit of a backstory, what kind of caught our attention first was Zcash, is because Zcash has had a terrible couple of years.
Oh yeah, awful. I've never owned it. Full disclosure, I've never owned it. I still haven't, because this is as long as I've been in crypto. I've looked at the chart. It just goes down every single week for Bitcoin.
Right.
And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, someone knows something more than I do. I'm not going to try to be the hero here.
Yep. So that actually is what really drew us to take a close look at Zcash about the middle of last year. Is we basically said, why is this asset that has a lot of brand recognition, has a strong development team, and really was the first cryptocurrency to deploy this exciting technology of zero-knowledge proofs? Why did it go down 95%? And I think what had happened is Zcash was born in 2016, so you had 1 year where investors were very excited about it, as it was an exciting project, and really, I'd say, exhausted their appetite for Zcash. And then you have the bear market start in 2018, just one short year later. And what you essentially have now is Zcash in January 2018 had an issuance supply, so an inflation rate of about 100%. So its supply was going to double. And this is in a bear market, prices are crashing. I think there's just tremendous sell pressure from that issuance supply. And so it's a perfect recipe, increased inflation, match with the bear market, for an asset to lose 95% or more of its value. Mm. Now I think that's turned around for two reasons. So one, I think that we are starting to see fresh money, fresh capital come into altcoins. And number two, this is Zcash's first halving coming up. So its inflation rate right now, or issuance rate, is about 30%. After the halving in October 2020, it'll be down at 12.5%. So you have this early bull market matched with a decreased supply, and I think that it's going to do very well for Zcash. Secondly, kind of from just a investor psychology thing, is I think privacy will continue to be an important narrative in this space. So investors will continually want exposure to privacy. I think one of the main ways we're going to do this, again, is still by investing in privacy coins, and there's not many of them. Besides Zcash, there's Monero, Grin. I don't even think Dash really counts as a privacy coin anymore, and maybe a couple of others. And so Zcash really has still the best brand recognition. Every single time ZK Snarks is mentioned, it's usually Zcash is following along with it. They're the first ones to deploy it. And so I think you're going to have a lot of attention for it, and a lot of those investors will gravitate towards Zcash. And not to mention that it has the best, I'd still say, the best privacy tech out there. And they have a well-funded development team now.
Yeah, one of the points I want to push back, because I know you know more about Zcash than I do. One of the points I've seen brought up is people will say, well, since shielded transactions or private transactions aren't default, and most of the transactions happening here are unshielded, right? People should just use Monero. What's your thoughts on, will multiple privacy coins exist, or what's kind of the view there?
So I think this goes a little bit into the idea of you don't want to go too far, maybe into fundamental analysis too early, in the sense of looking for too much adoption. Because I would say that the demand for it is, demand for privacy is not quite there yet. I think that the people that truly want privacy are comfortable enough with the different ways to do so in Bitcoin. I think that's why we've seen the darknet markets, still they're predominantly transacted in Bitcoin among the other cryptocurrencies. I think Monero has a little bit of penetration, Zcash probably even less. So I think the real demand for privacy coins is not quite there yet. And so a lot of this interest is still on what type of privacy can be built into the core protocol. This was a debate I had with one of the other fund managers that's shorting Zcash, was with the release of Aztec. So Aztec is a protocol is built on top of Ethereum is offering basically a stable coin that uses zero knowledge proofs. And I will be watching it closely, and if demand is really picking up, if people are really using ZK DAI for privacy, and then that's something that we want to keep a close eye on. But I think that we're still building into seeing what we can build into these privacy protocols. And so whether Z shielded transactions picks up significantly this year or not, I don't know if that would greatly change my investment thesis unless something like ZK DAI is taking off.
Okay. I mean, fundamentals, yeah, you look across the market, I would even make the case that fundamentals make up a very small percentage of why these things are moving anyway. So I understand that point.
And the one thing with fundamentals I would say is, because people will cycle between, oh, well, it's just all speculation. You can just, throw a dart at something and it might go. But I think that the ones with fundamental value, they tend to stay up during the peak a little bit longer than the Denta coins, which will lose 90% of their value in a few days if they're weak. And regarding an appreciation for market cycles, which I think you have to do if you're investing in the altcoin market, it gives you that little bit of extra time that can be crucial to decrease your exposure to them.
That makes sense. Thinking about the bearish case once more, because I like the rebuttal. I was listening to, it was a while back, Joel Manegro was talking about, he wasn't even talking about privacy features, but he was looking at ETH and saying, it doesn't matter if Tron tries to be faster or whatever else tries to be faster. I don't know what platform he said, but it was this idea that across blockchains, these features are going to be commoditized, right? So Bitcoin will add privacy, or ETH will add privacy, and then the need for privacy coins is eradicated. We won't need privacy coins if Bitcoin has whatever it is that makes it private. What's the long-term view there? Is that actually viable that Bitcoin and ETH will have these privacy features and it makes these things useless?
It's possible. I wouldn't rule that out. I think that in the short term, during these early cycles where there isn't maybe a lot of fundamental value to each project, I think we're going to see still a lot of different coins and platforms and different smart contract platforms. But I do think in the long run, we're going to coalesce around one or two, maybe Bitcoin, and then maybe a smart contract platform that does have privacy at the base layer, at the core protocol. That's possible. Maybe Zcash will somehow merge with Ethereum. I know Zcash and the Ethereum team work kind of closely together.
Yep. And
so who knows what will become of that. But I think you're really looking at 3 years or more for that to happen. And a lot can happen in crypto in that time frame.
Oh yeah. This month is a testament to that.